Greetings gamers, welcome to part 14 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10, Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode, silence might be golden, but gotta do a lot of talking. More story to unfold. Prince Peleus would now like to favor you with a word. You may begin, my prince.
Am I dreaming? Everything looks so delicious. What should I eat first?
Everyone, you've done a fine job. Once the inspection team arrives, Dayan will be free once again. In anticipation of our emancipation, I invite you to eat and drink to your heart's content. And I am back at the convoy management. Two very important groups of info here. Peleus first. So, how unusual to see you alone.
Prince Peleus, you here to see Micaiah?
Yes, at least I intended to, but she is quite popular, isn't she? She's always so busy talking to everyone that I can never get near her.
They're your soldiers. Tell them to get out of the way.
No, I can't do that. My job is to be the symbol of Dayan's liberation. But the priestess of Dawn is no mere symbol. For her, the soldiers will gladly give their lives.
Prince Peleus?
Oh, don't worry, Soph. I'm not jealous, if that's what you're thinking. It isn't like that. Although I have to admit, I do envy her from time to time. I almost forgot. Here. These war funds are for you.
But the war is over. And besides, this is a small fortune.
Yes, well, share it with the troops if you like. I may not be much of a leader, but I truly appreciate the sacrifices everyone has made. They deserve something in return. Divide it up as you see fit. I trust your judgment.
Prince Peleus, you should be the one to give the troops their reward.
10,000 gold. Nice. I always appreciate more gold. It actually makes me regret the fact that I did sell, I believe, the red gem and the fortune. No, I don't think I sold the red gem. I did sell the fortune. In truth, what you should be doing in this arc is saving all the things that you're wanting to sell to give them to Ileana, which I'm going to be doing in this convoy management. Reason being is because Ileana leaves the Dawn Brigade and goes to a different party. There are 3 parties in this game that you control simultaneously after the first part. We're pretty near the first part's completion. The second party is rich beyond your wildest dreams. The first party is well-to-do. And the third party is poor beyond belief. Ileana rejoins the third party. You want to give the third party items that can be sold and items that make sense to be given to that party, specifically for skills and other things of that nature. So there's going to be a lot of that going on in this chapter. Lady Micaiah. Hello, Jill. What are you doing here? I saw you walking over here as I was heading back to my tent. Is something wrong? You shouldn't be leaving camp by yourself. I'm just exhausted from talking to so many people, but there's no need for concern. I just need some time to myself. Now that you mention it, you do look a little pale. Why not rest in your tent? It'd be much more comfortable. I don't want Soth and the others to know how tired I am. They worry too much. I can see that. Soth seems so detached from everything, unless it involves you. He gets so worked up. He strikes me as a bit overprotective. We've always lived by ourselves, just the two of us. I don't think he can help it. Then I shall bring you some medicine, and I'll make sure no one sees me. I'll meet you at your tent. Oh no, that won't be necessary. Do you see that tree? I'll be resting over there. I should recover in no time. But I'll be safe. We're still in camp. Besides, don't you have an errand of your own to take care of? It must be really important to leave the feast so early in the evening. Oh no, not really. I just thought I'd write a letter to a friend, that's all. To the man you told me about? The one you run a wyvern delivery service with? Well, yes. You know everything, don't you, Lady Micaiah? You're going to tell him that the fighting is over, right? Yes. More than anything, he despises trouble. He made a delivery to Begnion and never returned. I'm sure it's the war that has kept him away. Really? Well, indirectly at least. To be honest, it's probably more about his napping. Give him a few minutes of free time and he's sure to close his eyes and drift away. The war would certainly disrupt his sleep schedule. What an interesting fellow. Well, you should write him and let him know it's safe to return. Are you sure you're all right? You're not pushing yourself too hard? I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me. All right. I'll let you relax alone then. Oh, but here, please take this. What is it? It's a pass scroll. It might come in handy. Please keep it if you'd like. Thank you, Joe. I will. Good night, Lady Micaiah. Pass. No supports, because very interestingly, you can only have Micaiah in this chapter. Now, I am definitely not using pass on Micaiah. Unfortunately, for whomever it may concern. Let's see, skills. I cannot show pass off right yet, unless I remove Paragon, so I'm going to have to do that. So pass grants this unit the ability to pass through enemy-occupied spaces. This is one of the most incredibly busted and useful skills in this game, especially given the fact that you can't pass enemy lines even if you are a flyer. You never could in Fire Emblem. A lot of people think it doesn't make sense realistically, but hello, we're playing a fantasy tactical RPG game. Like, hello? Turn-based RPG game. There has to be some limitations to your character's movements, but stuff like this allows you to totally bypass that. Of course, I'm going to be giving Paragon right back to Micaiah because she needs all the experience points she can get. Now, it would probably be a good idea to give her bonus experience points if you are concerned, because yes, she's about to be doing this chapter pretty much by herself. That's kind of a daunting task. Granted, I do have some convoy management to deal with, so I will see you all in just a few. Alright, I am back, and as part of me being back, I decided to show off the forge and the coin mechanic. So I'm going to be making an iron knife here for obviously Soth, and it's going to have max might, a little bit more hit. That's pretty much it. Might make it a different color. Doesn't really matter. I'm not real big on the whole cosmetics in a game like this. I think it's kind of a bit silly, but he does need a strong knife. Now I have 2 coins in stock, so I'm going to be using just one, because you can only use just one. And yes, what it does is it throws out 5 separate cards. Now these, regardless of RNG, are always going to be the same. You would have to reforge or forge later, or do some stuff to change the RNG in order to change the cards. I've tested this on numerous occasions in years past. So doesn't also matter which one you pick. You're going to get exactly only one. But there are 5 options. One of them increases might, one of them increases hit, one of them decreases weight, so on and so forth, stuff like that. So, for sake of clarity, I'm just going to pick the middle one. +1 might and +10 hit. Nice. So this is the soldier card. That's actually a very strong card, as you can see. So I'm going to be naming this one the Thrower, because the other one was just a tosser, but this one, now we're getting to some serious power. And I'm going to send that directly to storage, because obviously Micaiah can't use that. Other than that, it is time to save, and it is time to end. Phew. Yune, what is it? You didn't need to slip away from the banquet too. Silly you. You're kind of a mysterious bird, you know that? How is it you can fly around even at night? Oh, Yune, for some reason I feel so tired lately, but it won't be long. I'll go back home to Navasa and then save Dan.
So you escaped the idiot's ball to be alone. How trusting of you, silver-haired maiden. No, I'm sorry, priestess of dawn. If you really can work miracles, you'd best work up one for yourself now.
What? Oh, Bagneon soldiers. Yes, you literally can very seriously only use Micaiah. And I would say this is such a it's such a crazy thing that this game does here, making it so that you can only use Micaiah. Now, it's a good idea. I do have a vulnerary and an herb on Micaiah. It's a good idea to keep her on the heal hedge. The problem is that means that multiple people can attack her. So I try to find a spot or location in which she can only be attacked by one unit, which is typically here in this thicket. It just makes sense. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, she could be attacked from several locations. Still less than here. Like here, she's going to be able to be attacked by 3, 4, 5, 6 units, whereas here, it's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Not really that much better odds. This is a chapter that I could foresee myself restarting a couple of times. General Jared, why are you here?
I'm doomed, thanks to you. But if I have to go down, I'm taking someone with me. The Vice General to the Dayan Liberation Army, the revered Priestess of Dawn.
Even if you kill me, the Kingdom of Dayan will be reborn. As long as the Prince survives, the people will fight.
Ha! The Prince? He's a sham, a travesty, a clod of mud no amount of polishing could shine. The real jewel whose radiance attracts the people like moths to flame is you, Priestess. And so I shall steal you and extinguish Dayan's light of hope. No despair, Priestess of Dawn.
Ah! Who are you?
Be at ease, maiden. I shall not let him harm you. I was once one of the 4 riders, serving the army of old Dayan. If you recall the name of the Black Knight, you will withdraw from this place at once. Right, that's precious. You're the legendary Black Knight. Maybe you haven't heard. He died in the war. But let's put your claim to the test, if only to indulge my own amusement. Then have at me, and learn your folly. In due time, but before I bother, why don't you have a go-around with my restless minions? Douse the torches. Maiden, I shall be your shield. Remain at my side.
I will. I know I can trust you. So, I get a new unit. I love this. When I first played this game, the year it came out, so we're talking a bajillion years ago, I got to this chapter and was like, what? I can only use Micaiah? What is this? Is this a joke? And funnily enough, at the time, I had not even trained her half as much as I trained her here. I never gave her any stat boosters, which I was considering giving her the Draco Shield, but 2 extra defense isn't really going to do much for her right now. She is likely going to be either one-shot or close to one-shot by most of the enemies. And then you have the problem of units like this who double her. It's kind of wild. She would have to have pretty close to max speed to not be doubled, especially given the fact that, well, I mean, these tomes don't weigh her down, but if you were to get, like, the Shine, for instance, that you can buy in the previous bargain, which I don't know why anybody would. The Thani has 1 extra might, and I believe more hit, too. It's kind of insane how strong Thani is. But when I first saw this chapter, I was just dumbfounded. I was confused. And then when I saw that teleportation circle come in, I was like, this can't be who I think it is, right? And then once I saw that it was the Black Knight, I was so utterly amused. I was dumbfounded by how crazy cool that is. What's so interesting about the Black Knight is this isn't the only chapter you get to use him. There is one other chapter, this part, where you get to use him, and then another chapter in a part to come where you get to use him. There is also another instance where he is an ally unit. Now, what's cool about that is the Black Knight is horrendously overpowered. He is in no way, shape, or form going to be defeated by any of Jared's men or anybody who could possibly show up in any of the chapters that he is a unit in that you can use. And the reason why is just because he's that strong. He no longer has the so-called blessed armor that he had in Path of Radiance, which is good. I always thought that that little plot contrivance was annoying, a nuisance, especially because it wasn't really explained why only Ike could deal damage with the Ragnell, but supposedly the Laguz Royals could also, and then the dragons. I don't really understand that, especially because it's not like they are blessed automatically. That's just not how that works, especially when you get to the end game of this game. You're gonna see exactly what I mean. They're definitely not blessed already, so it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, the Black Knight, he is this enigmatic knight, was formerly one of Dan's 4 horsemen. He wields the skill Luna. That's a lie. He wields the skill Luna in the previous game, not in this game. So the Black Knight is very close to maximum strength, magic, speed, luck, defense, and resistance. He has max skill and HP. Insanity. This guy is an armor knight. He has 30 speed. Granted, he had 27 speed in the last game, so it's not like it's that much more. His max in this game is 35, if I'm not mistaken, and not gonna lie to you, I wish he had his max. For reasons we'll see later. Now, you can give him stat boosters. You can give him items to hold weapons and stuff like that. You can't take off the Elondite in any way, shape, or form because it has a golden lock next to it. It's a double S rank sword, 18 might, 80 hit, 5 crit, 20 weight, a mystic blade blessed by the goddess Ashera, and can attack from near and far. So it gives him plus 5 defense, which he really doesn't need. But there's been some tweaks, some changes. You want absolutely to take this concoction off of the Black Knight because not only does he not need it, you don't get it back. Granted, I do believe that he comes with it the next time you see him in the next part he's available in. But what's that matter? Just take it from him. The man is insanity incarnate. And the reason why is because, well, he has a double S rank sword and an S rank in lances. But he has 70 capacity and 4 skills. Shove, of course, but Eclipse. Can neutralize an enemy's defenses and do 5 times normal damage. So this is a critical on steroids that also doesn't care about the defense of the enemy. It is insanity. Absolutely insanity. And I love it. He also has Imbue. Restores HP equal to this unit's magic power each turn. He has 18 magic. He's healing 18 each turn. I hate what they do to this guy on the lowest difficulty of this game. I think they might even do it to him on normal. I sincerely hope not, but on the lowest difficulty, I know for a fact they take this skill away from him in the late game for reasons. And then he has Nihil, which cancels enemy combat-related skills, which is important. It means things like class masteries, like Eclipse, can't be used on him. Every class in this game has a class mastery, regardless. The only thing interesting about it is that your Bjork units automatically get their class masteries upon reaching the 3rd tier, whereas Laguz units have to use a Satori sign after they reach level 30. Strange. Very strange. More reasons why the Laguz are worse than Bjork. That should be a video. But yes, the Black Knight. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about him, hilariously, is his growth rates. So, he's level 20, capped. 3rd tier. He cannot possibly level up. Which is why they gave him a 0% HP, strength, magic, skill, speed, luck, defense, and resistance. I don't like this, though. And even though it's funny, it is funny. Like, he doesn't need growth. He's at max. He's at cap in everything, or close to cap in everything that he would need it. But I don't like this. And the reason why I don't like this is because of Thracia. Galzus joins your team at level 20, and arguably for the game, he's actually more overpowered than the Black Knight is in this game for Thracia. So I think it's so cool that Galzus has growth rates, just to see like how he got where he got, right? It would be nice if the Black Knight had internal growth rates, but he does not. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is move over here. Then I'm going to attack you. So, one thing I will say is that because this chapter is kind of short, and there's not really much in the way of time loss, I'm going to be turning animations on just for the simple fact that it would be nice to see them, right? Nice to see the Black Knight in action. And yes, he does have his theme. Actually, a lot of characters in this game have a theme song that play whilst they are attacking, whilst they are in combat, even on enemy phase, which I truly love. Alright, so Thani doesn't weigh her down. We're going to equip Thani. I'm going to use the Shine Barrier. It's very obvious why this guy is attacking good old Micaiah. Luckily, I'm doing enough damage that I'm going to not double, obviously. She's never going to double in part 1. You have to get super lucky for that to happen. But to be able to KO. Let's just waste the light. Perfect. More experience points. And somebody is fool enough to attack the Black Knight. This is why after... See, I love these games. I'm never going to say that Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, games like this are, not as... they're not good at all. But there are some seriously major flaws with the fact that you've got serious major flaws with the AI of this game just self-destructing on your units. Doesn't make too much sense if we're being honest. Yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot allow that. So obviously I did know very well that there was only going to be 2 squares in which Micaiah was going to get attacked, because she uses the Shine Barrier, as well as the Black Knight is going to be guarding 1 square. But it's fun to have that little note of suspense, right? The Shine Barrier is now gone. Yep, she has to dodge at least 1 attack when there's enough enemies around that could attack her, more than once. Because she's going to constantly be blocked by either the Shine Barrier or the Black Knight in this chapter, you don't have to worry. Oh, good grief, that's so awesome. Thank you, getting speed. You don't have to worry so much about the sword users who would double her. Alright, so I can actually talk. Sir Knight, how did you know I was in danger?
That is not important right now. Are you injured?
No, I'm alright.
Maiden, stay by me. I will not let them harm you.
I know you won't. Thank you.
And then I can finish you off. Would be super cool if the Black Knight procs Eclipse.
So the way this chapter works is that you have to KO enough of the enemies, and you have to wait till a specific turn, and then Jared does show up. And when he does, you do have to fight him and KO him, because this is a defeat boss chapter. And fortunately, if the Black Knight doesn't proc Eclipse immediately, none of these guys are going to survive his attack. Goodbye, soldier of Begnion. Alright, so I'm going to trade Micaiah, give her the concoction and the vulnerary, and then attack you with the steel, or the Alondite. I loved the Black Knight in Path of Radiance, so much so that when I was given the opportunity to use him in an actual game, I was so excited. One of the things I do not like at all about Path of Radiance is that if you play the game enough times, and it is very grindy, I don't like playing grindy things at all. But if you play the game through enough times on certain difficulties, nice crit there, you will get the opportunity to use some of the bosses of that game. Even all the way up to King Ashnard, you can use him in the trial maps. The problem with that is why is the Black Knight not usable? He's one of the only significant bosses in that game who is not usable. Bryce, Bryce, Ashnard, Patrine, Shiharam, they're all usable. Even somebody as silly as Oliver, who is totally useless in that game's trial maps because they're all super difficult for the most, well, not all of them, but they are difficult. You would think, like, throw me the Black Knight, and it just never happens. There's no way to possibly get him. Only reason why I'm attacking there with Athani is so that she'll have it on retaliation. I could have traded, I guess. But either way. She's leveling up fairly well. Max magic already. Micaiah almost always maxes magic and resistance pretty quick. This is the reason why you also want to move Micaiah in the right corner. As you can see, there's a lot of soldiers who are put just far enough away that they can't reach her, but they would be able to reach her if she stays in that little square that she originally starts in. Don't do that. Now, on hard difficulty, I do believe there's even more enemies, so more might reach her. In that case, I would strongly recommend giving her absolutely every stat booster you get a hold of. Except for the energy drop. I mean, energy drop is totally pointless on her. Yes, she doesn't mind strength for the heavier tomes, but the best light tome in this game that she has access to for pretty much all of the game is the Thani. So it's just not pertinent. And I do believe, yeah, so this is the end here. We're getting close to the absolute finish of this chapter. In the case of said finish, you have to find yourself looking for some of the enemies, because if you do not, you are not going to necessarily be able to, how do you want to say, like, complete the chapter, right? Alrighty. Let's see. Is he back here yet? I do believe there are some hidden items in this game. Or in this game. in this chapter, particularly. Now, the hidden items are just an Olivigrass and a couple of coins. I think it's 2 coins. The coins are out here, whereas the Olivigrass is somewhere over here. I'm not too sure exactly where they are. Yeah, there's enemies waiting for you to go and find them. They will attack you if you go into their range, but they will not if you don't. Yeah, that guy was defeated before you swung the first swing. Luckily, also, the boss in this chapter does not come with a ranged weapon. I do believe he appears somewhere over here, though. But, however, with that being said, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to bid my farewells on this very episode. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.